Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, John, aka Astro Comics, and welcome back to a new, long-awaited review. Today, I'm finally reviewing a new Marvel Ultimate Graphic Novel collection, and today it's time to review Siege. I don't know what was wrong with me in the intro, I guess my mind was going all over the place. But anyway, Siege. I read this comic a while ago when it came out on February 4th, but I didn't really have time to review it, but now I have. Now, the next comic that's coming out is World War Hulk, which is a continuation of Planet Hulk, which I have read both parts, though I have not reviewed them. So maybe I should reread them and then review them as preparation for World War Hulk. But anyways, let's get on to Siege. So this comic was written by Brian Michael Bendis, who I really like. He's written some really good stories in this collection, and was drawn by Olivier Coipel. Again, I hope I pronounced that name right, but yeah, this comic has a very interesting premise. So after the events of Secret Invasion, which I don't know how much of a hot take that is, but I didn't enjoy it all that much. I thought it was pretty long and kind of dragged itself too much. Uh, but this comic takes place after that, and after Norman Osborn has taken control of this new company, like Avengers stuff, called Hammer, I think, if I remember correctly. Hammer, he's looking all nice and stuff. He literally killed the Skrull Queen, and he's everyone sees him as a good guy now, but secretly he wants to take over the United States and possibly the world. So the way he wants to do this is after Secret Invasion, Asgard, the home of Thor and all the Norse gods, has moved to Oklahoma out of all places. It's like above Oklahoma a little bit, and Norman Osborn wants a reason to take over Asgard, so he can have that as another place to rule over. And the way this happens is there's like this one guy from Asgard. He like tries to be a hero, but he ends up like destroying a whole fucking stadium, which like I'm guessing kills a lot of people, obviously. And Norman Osborn sees this as a reason to attack Asgard, though he makes that happen himself. One problem that I have with that is that they don't really explain the whole incident. Like we see it play out, but after that, like nobody explains it. We don't see how that changes the relationship between as guardians and human mortals. Yeah, I guess you can call them that. And I thought that was a little bit weird. They never explain what happens after the incident. What are the consequences? So Norman Osborn's team, called the Dark Avengers, consists of Mrs. Marvel, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and himself, and the Sentry. I might have missed someone else, but also his secretary, Norman Osborn's secretary. So the thing is, none of them are actually the real deal. Like Mrs. Marvel, I'm not really familiar with the character, so I don't know, but she's not like the real Mrs. Marvel. Wolverine's name is okay. So I'm looking, and turns out his name is Daken Akihiro, which is Wolverine's son. I researched that after reading the comic, though I forgot. And we actually have a knockoff Hawkeye. We have, Spider-Man is McDonald Gargan, which is the Scorpion. You guys probably know the Scorpion. He has the symbiote. He's more like Venom. Then we also have Taskmaster and Mrs. Marvel, Sentry, and that's basically it. And Norman Osborn himself is the Iron Patriot, which I honestly think is a really cool character. I like the design. I don't really know much about the character himself and his time as the Iron Patriot. I don't know if that's like an alias of multiple characters or if that's just a Norman Osborn thing. And on a side note, unrelated, but Norman Osborn's haircut doesn't look that bad in this comic. But anyways, yeah, think the Iron Patriot is a very cool design, and yeah, that's basically who Norman Osborn is in this comic. He's not Green Goblin anymore, though we do see him talking to the Green Goblin persona a few times. So going into the art, we'll now look at some art, and I have to say it's pretty good. And Ares is also with the Dark Avengers, though he is not specifically on the team, and I don't really want to spoil much. But the Sentry kind of beats the shit out of Ares. But anyways, here we get a little. It's telling us what happened before. If you read the Secret Invasion, you know what happened. Here we have this pretty cool panel of. This is like the prologue. Oh my bad, I keep the camera. We have the Iron Patriot. We have Taskmaster, Loki, who is also with them. We have this dude called Parker. I don't know who he is. I thought it was Peter Parker for a second. And we have Doctor Doom. And like it's a really cool little piece of cover art. But my problem is that they don't actually fight in the comic. It's more like Doctor Doom, like some technological thing. So yeah, I think the artwork is really good. Let me see, Coppel did a very good fucking job with this artwork. I think Norman Osborn's aura in some of these some of these panels is really high. Like, he looks a little bit goofy here, I'm gonna give him that, but he definitely has some aura in here. And again, the haircut doesn't look as bad. So I think it's time we look at some action panels because we haven't really looked at them so far. Just some little story panels. Here we have Tony Stark. He's recovering from something. I don't remember what happened to him in Secret Invasion. Yeah, I think he was sick. I think he was like poisoned or something. Here we have Thor pulling up just to get his ass beaten. I don't know who the rest of the Dark Avengers are. Like, I'm pretty sure the team I listed isn't the full one, but they're the ones that mostly appear, and the other guys are just never named. And here's Captain America. And the each end of each issue actually have this like part where we have to fucking read. What the fuck? I don't want to read, but we're gonna skip over that boring part. And we have a bunch of more action here. We have Ares. I think Ares is kind of a weird character to me because like he's a god. He's the god of war, but like he's dressed up pretty casually compared to everyone else, and like he doesn't even speak all that fancy. I guess he spends time around humans too much. I don't know. From the Greek pantheon in Marvel, though, I like Hercules. I think he's pretty cool. Now, when it comes to the Sentry himself, I think he's very fucking menacing in this comic. I haven't seen the Sentry much, nor do I know much about the character, but he's always aura farming in these comics, and he always beats the shit out of everyone else. I'm gonna skip a few pages because there's some spoilers. Here we have Captain America pulling up, and at the end of the comic, now spoiler alert, the Sentry turns into this shit. The aura on this is insane. He kind of reminds me of Null, the god of symbiotes, and I think this thing's name is the Void. And the new Thunderbolts movie is actually coming out, and I'm really excited to see if the Void is gonna be in there and what they're gonna do with the Sentry. But yeah. For someone who looks really powerful, he kind of gets his ass kicked by the Avengers. Here we have this really cool panel of the Void Strip kicking all their asses. But yeah, I think I've said enough about this comic. I thought it was okay. It was nothing crazy, but I did wait 4 fucking weeks for it, so I expected it to be a masterpiece at this point. I'm gonna give this comic 7.8 out of 10. I think it was average, nothing crazy. I like Brian Michael Bendis, and I thought the art was pretty good too. Had some really cool panels. But yeah, that was it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe and turn the notification bell to never miss a new review. This is Astro Comics sign off. See ya.